Hello, this is IrlandaLuzAguilar, and I'm going to talk about my method for teaching English to young learners. Okay, we have to first make a distinction between method and approach. Whereas in method, the process is going to determine how a project is going to come out. It deals with methodology and structure and organization that will let us achieve that goal. It refers to the step-by-step process in order to succeed in our goals. Whereas approach, you're going to approach the project from another angle. You are going to use a framework to be able to do this, and in a way, there's different varieties of methods to be able to do an approach. So continuing the topics, I was giving storytelling, which I will develop further on. So the basis of my approach is quite old. Storytelling predates millennia of years. It's the oldest form of oral communication, and all cultures have passed along tales through oral tradition. And because of this, it has shed some light on education in many fields, especially some claiming storytelling to be preferred than traditional teaching methods like materials such as books or hammering at grammar. So what's this approach like? There are three main dimensions that stories add to learning. The stories can be used to reinforce conceptual development in children, like vocabulary, like colors, shapes, time, cause and effect, and so on. And stories are also means of developing learning strategies that will be useful not only in language teaching, but in other fields of their education. For example, reinforcing thinking strategies to be able to compare, classify, organize, predict, etc. Developing strategies for learning English, that is guessing, estimating, reading context, and so on. And developing study skills, for example, understanding text, understanding discourse, understanding any sorts of means of communication, really. And for the third development, not only does storytelling develop language skills and studying skills, but it also develops knowledge in other subjects such as mathematics, of telling time, numbers, quantity, quality, science of insect, animals, outer space, history about prehistoric animals, chronology, and also geography and the environment, also very important, and arts and crafts and music and drama, which are very creative fields and which is boosted by storytelling, which is also a main source of creative skills. Now, unlike the other approaches, storytelling doesn't have explicit activities to do, but there are follow-up ones we can apply, like asking comprehensive questions, which we can ask what had happened, who had done what, etc. We can invent exercises in phonetics, semantics, and even syntax that have to do with the language used in the story. We can do listening, oral, and written activities, which can vary in many ways. Also visual, creative, and drama activities, which also heavily are inspired by the creative story roots of the storytelling. And also organizing a book corner, which is also very important. Once a book has been read, copies should be shared so that students may see what they had heard and be able to have a sort of feedback. So the suitability for teaching English to young learners with storytelling, we have to recognize that children acquire oral communication first before writing and reading. And because of this, it also applies to second language learning. Children should be able to communicate orally first before the other language skills. And because of children's characteristics, teachers should adopt the storytelling method because it applies gratefully to them. And as so, when using stories with beginner pupils, we should plan carefully how we're going to read them. We should give context, talk about the story, and also mention the characters first. So just like any academic field or methodology, there's going to be advantages and disadvantages. For the advantages, listening to the stories in class is a social experiment. It's going to promote social connections. Also, stories are considered to be a more fun and exciting method. There's going to be better attitudes towards this kind of methodology. Also, colloquial and literary is going to be very present in the stories, which is helpful for their language repertoire. Also, stories exercise the imagination in these children, which is very good. Children will develop a sense of structure and lexical notions way before they even learn about it. Although in disadvantages, it applies to many things and mostly has to do that they're children. You know that children won't hear well, they'll not be paying attention, they might not comprehend things that they don't know about, and they might try to get distracted very easily. So in conclusion, I do believe storytelling is very illustrative, it's very inspiring, and it's a great alternative for language teaching methodologies where some might prefer grammar or vocabulary memorization, and in a way that might stress the child, especially that they're in such a young age, to be stressing over such things. And not to mention, storytelling has always been a folk art. It shouldn't be manipulated nor mass produced. It's unique. And the storyteller has always been a teacher, and a teacher has always been a storyteller. Thank you.